you doing? I'm Robert, one of the salesmen here at Skunk2. Today we're going to be going over some of the features and benefits of the Pro S coilovers as well as the Pro C coilovers from Skunk2. When installing in the vehicle, you're going to put this into the lower fork, you're going to stick this through the actual shock tower, you're going to start two nuts. I'd recommend that you leave everything loose, and once you've done that for every corner, you can go ahead and set the car down on the floor, and you'll get an idea as to where the car's ride height will be. Things will settle and it'll change very, very slightly. Measure from a given point to the bottom perch. Make sure that the two fronts are identical and the two rears are identical. Now the fronts and rears don't need to be the same, because if you want a little bit of rake or the car has bigger wheel wells in one place or another, you don't want that real level look. You want something to give it kind of an aggressive stance. You're going to end up playing around with it. But you start off in one place and you realize what the distance is from, the given point to the bottom of the perch. And if you don't like the ride height once the vehicle is actually set on the floor, you lower it. Now what I would do and what I've done is painted or engraved some sort of a mark on both perches. That way you can count from another given point where you might want to mark how many turns you get out of each spanner. So let's say you lowered the car an additional two full turns on the actual lower perch, and you lower the other one back down into it. Once you've done this, it's highly unlikely that you'll get any variation to the two fronts or the two rears. You take that same spec over to the other side and you should be pretty consistent. Both sides should be dropped the same amount. You lower the car back on the ground and check to see if that's the desired ride height. If not, repeat the process. Pro S's have only one adjustment. Valving is locked out. It's all predetermined from the factory, and so is the spring selection. Here you'll see that this spring is it's an 8,000 kilogram spring. It's 5 inches long. I'm sorry, no, it's 8 inches long and 2.5 inches inside diameter. We do offer other springs right out of our catalog, or you can go to the website, in spring combinations from 6 kilograms all the way up to 18 kilograms. When you're lowering the car, one thing to keep in mind is that as you lower the perches and ultimately lowering the spring's position, you're also lowering the top hat. You're already very close to running out of travel. In some cases you might want to trim just the top part of the bump stop off, but you don't want to eliminate it entirely. This bump stop is going to save your coilovers from self-destruction. Hitting a pothole or something of that sort will ultimately cause the spring to collapse and the inside of the shock to bottom out and destroy the valving. So be very, very careful with how low you decide to adjust these. The lower you go on these, the more chances you have of actually bottoming out. And just as an example, we'll show you here. Say you get too aggressive, or you're running a small wheel and tire combination and you really want that tucked, aggressive look, and you start spinning this thing down further and further. And I will show you exactly how much ride you will have. Okay, you go ahead and press the shock down and you're literally riding on your bump stops. Again, this is a basic coilover. Its intent and purpose was for more performance driving, smooth roads, and we all know that the roads out here just aren't the greatest, so you might want to watch yourself on how low you decide to lower this. So now we have two Pro S coilovers. This one's already previously assembled, and you have this one here that was just assembled.